They told you education is the key. They said, go to school. But why are so many graduates purposeless and jobless? On EduShift, we spot the cracks. We challenge the educational system. Torn between science, arts, and commerce, we bring clarity and answers to your questions, and we light up the path for a generation ready to stand out. Come enjoy discussions with educators, employers, and counselors. Let us fix this problem of career misalignment and help you discover yourself. EduShift, only on Global TV.
Hello there, and welcome to another episode of EduShift, where we help you shift towards education that aligns with purpose. This is that platform where we explore education beyond the classroom and ask deeper questions about how we learn, why we learn, and what learning truly means. I am your host, Priscilla Obasi, and today we're having a conversation that challenges one of the biggest assumptions many people have about education. Quite fundamental, quite interesting, quite important. Today's topic is two sides of learning: formal education and informal education, explained in details. Yeah, so sit tight as we take on this very important flight in the education sector. For many people, when they hear the word education, the first thing that comes to their mind is school, classrooms, uniforms, textbooks, examinations, certificates. But the truth is that education is bigger than school. Yes, you heard that. Education is bigger than school. School represents formal education, an enclosed space where, education is carried out formally. I'll explain that. But there's another powerful form of learning that shapes people's everyday life. Now, before formal education came into Nigeria, our fathers had what we call informal education, learning through storytelling, learning through, building of skill, farming, every kind of interaction. They made powerful lessons from it, and they taught the children from it. So this is informal education. It is learning that happens at home, in the workplace, through life experiences, through mentorships, through observation, through the internet, through skills and practice. Now, some of the most important lessons in life are actually not learned in the classroom. I hope you know that. Think about it deeply. Some of the things that actually gave you a shift in reasoning came from one experience or another, came from an informal setting, right? Today, we want to explore all of that. Yes, what formal education truly means, what informal education is, why both forms of learning actually matter. We're talking about why they both matter and why the most successful people often combine the two. So this is to say that success is a combination of both formal education and both informal education. So if you have been wondering, why am I stuck? This is going to be an eye-opener for you, so stay with us. The first is, we start by defining formal education. Of course, we're in a classroom and you know how it goes. So what is formal education? Let us begin with this one because we are most familiar with it, right? So formal education is that structured system of learning that takes place in institutions such as schools, colleges, universities, technical institutions, you just name it. It follows a structured curriculum, meaning there is a defined plan of what the students are expected to learn after a particular period of time. So students move through levels in this kind of system. They move through levels from the primary education to secondary education to higher education, and for those that want to, further and further and further. In this same kind of system, there are teachers, there are classrooms, examinations is part of it, and certification is one thing that is also part of the formal education system of learning. Now, formal education plays several very important roles in the society. The first is that it provides knowledge. Yes, it provides foundational knowledge. Students learn basic skills such as reading, they learn skills such as writing, mathematics, scientific thinking, historical knowledge, and the likes of it. I know that you know those things, but just sit with me because we need to understand the basics of education so that we can make the best of the education that we've got. These skills are essential for functioning in modern society. I'm talking about the reading, numeric skills, arithmetic skills, basic skills, and even advanced skills, mathematics, scientific thinking, historical knowledge. All of these are essential for functioning in modern society. The second is that formal education creates standards. Absolutely. When someone earns a degree in medicine, engineering, law, or even teaching, society has a way of verifying that that person has received proper training. Yes, this is another benefit of formal education. The third is that formal education creates structure and discipline. Students learn how to follow schedules, meet deadlines, and work within systems. These are important life skills, of course. But while formal education is powerful, is important, it's not complete. Yes, it's not a complete picture of learning. So it has its limitations. And some of the limitations are, one of the biggest limitations is that the classroom cannot teach everything life requires. For example, schools can teach you the theories of leadership, depending on the course you study. But leadership itself is often learned through experience. And interestingly, it is possible to learn leadership even in the formal setting. For example, there are students that are given positions or classrooms or even the SUG in higher level education, tertiary institutions. You can decide to, go contest for a position. But some of the things you learn are not, you can learn in that setting. Might not necessarily come through the formal education, but your life experiences can now give you lessons that you use throughout life. So that is informal education happening in the formal setting, right? But it is still informal education. Schools can actually teach you the principle of communication, but becoming a powerful communicator often requires practice and real life interaction. Schools can teach you entrepreneurship theories, but building a successful business requires risk, creativity, and the problem-solving skill in real time. So another limitation is that formal education often focuses heavily on examination. Students often become experts at passing tests, but not necessarily solving real-world problems. And that is why many employers today say something interesting. Things like, we are not only looking for certificates, we are looking for competence. And that competence often comes from experience-based learning, which leads us to the second side of learning, which is the informal education. What is the informal education? Informal education is the type of learning that happens outside the traditional classroom. It is not structured. It does not always follow a curriculum. And it often does not end with certificates. Maybe sometimes with, but most times it doesn't end with certificates. So it can be extremely powerful. Informal education happens when a child learns values from parents, a young person learns a skill from a mentor, someone learns photography through practice, a business owner learns marketing through experience, a father learns or a child learns business from their parent, right? It happens when businesses are passed down to lineages. Someone can learn coding through online tutorials, especially in today's world. I think we have advanced informal education to make it even more structured, right? If your heart is open to receive, you can really get a lot from informal education. Education that comes from, contact and life experience, right? All of that is informal education. Informal education is often self-driven. You push yourself, or you do it yourself, or you try to get the knowledge yourself. It is you that is consciously or unconsciously learning. It is guided by curiosity and passion. It is guided by necessity. Now, think about some everyday examples. A child learns how to speak a language not through textbooks, but through listening and interaction. That is informal education. Someone who watches cooking videos and practices recipes in learning informally. A young entrepreneur who starts selling products and learns through trials and error is gaining informal education. This type of learning may not come with certificates, but it often produces very practical knowledge. Yes, very practical knowledge. Now, why informal education is becoming more important? In today's world, informal education is becoming interestingly important, if you ask me. I personally have been able to learn a lot from informal education. After school, I went to a photography school and I learned photography. Quite interesting. But I mean, that season of my life was beautiful. Like, it was finally me doing what I love to do, beyond anyone cajoling me, beyond the fear of exams, beyond the fear of tests. And that kind of knowledge sticks, like it sticks for a long time. That thing that you do from self-motivation sticks for a long time, because the world is fast changing and technology evolves quickly. New industries are emerging, so new skills are becoming valuable. You don't sit and relax basically because you have gotten a degree. There's a way to advance. And for those of you that probably are not or did not study the courses that you liked, it's another way to actually do what you want to do. Trust me, like I said, whatever is driven, whatever is self-motivated, has a way of lasting. Sometimes faster than traditional education. Yes, so you can adopt or you can adapt. Many people learn new skills today through online courses, like I said, through workshops, through mentorship programs, through professional communities, through self-study. You can pick a book and learn a thing from start to finish in today's world where information is virtually at your fingertips. You don't have an excuse anymore. That thing that you wanted to go and start today already. So the internet has made learning more accessible more than ever before. Someone can learn graphic design, someone can learn programming, digital marketing, public speaking, video production, anything at all. Today's world makes it easy for you, even without sitting in a traditional classroom. But it does not mean that formal education is irrelevant again, like I said. It means that learning today must be flexible. The most successful learners today combine both systems, and that is where true success is, if you ask me. When informal and formal education work together, powerful results are made. The most powerful learning happens actually when you combine both together. While informal education provides, fundamental knowledge, credibility, structure, and all of that, informal education provides practical experience, adaptability, creativity, real-world problem-solving skills. For example, a student studying computer science in university gains theoretical understanding, right? You went to the university, you understand everything theoretically, you know how it works in your head. But when that student also builds up, when you're able to participate in hackathons and learn through online coding communities, when you're able to go beyond the theory and start to lay your hands on these things, to practicalize, to make something out of it, to build systems for people, for yourself, then you have been able to finish. The learning never ends, like they say though, but you have activated your learning. You've taken your learning to the next phase. You've been able to make success, that's the word, good success out of the knowledge that you have. A journalism student may study media theory in school, but by practicing interviews, by storytelling and content creation, all of this will help you build practical mastery skills, and your ability to be a master in every sense, of course, makes you successful. Even in fields like medicine or law, practical exposure is actually essential. That is why when you're done with schooling, you go to law school to be able to practically, apply everything you have learned. When you're done with law school, you go to a law firm and you start to work, right? Until you are able to practically use this knowledge, the head knowledge, and make sense of it, solve problems with it. That is when you can truly say you have applied the knowledge, you've made the most of the knowledge, you've successfully, used the knowledge that you have. So knowledge becomes powerful only when it is applied. Now, this is why modern education conversations now focus on experimental learning. We're talking about critical thinking skills in our primary and secondary schools. We're talking about all of these problem-solving skills in our curriculum today because we have grown from cramming, passing examination to solving problems. Learning is by doing. Learning is by exploring. Learning is by engaging with the real world. I hope we understand this. If you are in that space again where you were confused, on previous episodes we've been able to analyze how you can even be able to align your education to your talent, to your skills. That way it's easier to even have extra activities, extra education, informal education. You're passing by and you're seeing something that you like, that is going in line with whatever it is that you are studying. You're grabbing it fast and quick. These are ways to align yourself. Now, as we conclude today's conversation, I want to give you this key takeaway. And what is it? Education is not confined to school walls. Education is a lifelong progress. Formal education gives us a foundation. Informal education gives us experience. Do you understand? Foundation plus experience is success. Formal education helps us understand the world of knowledge. Informal education helps us navigate the world of reality. Both are essential, both are necessary, both are valuable, and when they work together, they create individuals who are not just educated on paper, but are equipped for life. So whether you are a student, whether you are a parent, or even an educator, remember that the goal of education should not just be to produce graduates or for you to become a graduate. The goal should be that you're able to produce capable, thoughtful, and adaptable human beings. Or you're able to become capable, thoughtful, and adaptable human being, right? People who never stop learning. A person who understands that education is not something that ends with certificate. As a matter of fact, it begins with certificate. Education continues every single day of our lives. I want us to pause, reflect, think about, because on EduShift we like to give practical solutions. So think about that thing that you want to start, that dream you want to start to chase, right? Something that you have always dreamt about, a reality that you want to see for yourself in the coming years. Just think about it and map out the first step to take towards it. As we say, it's as easy as picking up your phones now. We have the likes of ChatGPT, we have the likes of YouTube, we like the learning resource materials on our devices, and we're wasting away with it. Just pick it up, go search for that thing. There is a tutor there willing to teach you. There's an AI willing to teach you. No matter how little you are, you don't have to be aged, you don't have to be a graduate yet. You can even be in primary school and start to learn. The earlier, the better. Again, the earlier, the better. So don't give up on that dream that you have. You might be doing what you're doing right now and you're not finding so much satisfaction and purpose in it. You can gradually transition into that thing you like to do. On subsequent episodes, we will talk about transitioning into passion, transitioning into purpose, because that's a topic that's quite vital for a lot of Nigerians. Considering the kind of educational sector we operate with, considering, the fact that a lot of people went to school to study courses that they didn't like, and they come out looking all confused, looking all tired, looking all, confused. We're going to talk about navigating the known or the unknown to the known, right, on subsequent episodes. But for now, I hope I have been able to enlighten you on the two sides of learning: formal education versus informal education. Formal education is that kind of education that happens in a confined classroom, quite structured. There is an end result. Certificates are given to us at the end of your learning. Informal education is that one that you learn in passing, that one that you learn from your parent, the one you learn in your environment, the language you're able to speak, the one you learn from mentors. Every kind of learning that happens unofficially is called informal education. I want to say a very big thank you for joining me today on EduShift, where we shift towards education that aligns with purpose. Remember, I am your host, Priscilla Obasi, and see you next time. Bye.
It's edutainment time on EduShift.
Again. Well, he's always reading. Let's go and look for his trouble.
Yes.
Oh, they're here again. Look at you again. Always join. Why don't you play football like real boys? Next one.
He thinks he's better than us. Always quiet, always in books.
Nice. I just like to imagine how I can fix things in the world. Would you go to your seats?
Chinedu, don't let anybody make you feel small. Your ideas matter and you lead one day. I believe in you.
Oh, the world needs thinkers. Be bold. You are made to lead. Thank you, Daddy.
Confidence isn't loud. It's knowing who you are. Hold on to your dreams.
Thank you, Mommy.
Playtime is over. Let's go to the class.
Everybody in class hates me. I don't know what I did to them. Maybe I should just give up on my dreams.
Do not give up on your dreams. We are all your best friends.
Okay. Why don't you want to give me a chance? My class is very good.
Why should we support your app idea? Yes, why should we support your app idea?
Mr. Echo, you have become top store. You have changed the way people travel. Congratulations.
Chinedu, don't let anybody make you feel small. Your ideas matter and you lead one day. I believe in you.
Thank you, Mr. Okoli.
They told you education is the key. They said, go to school. But why are so many graduates purposeless and jobless? On EduShift, we spot the cracks. We challenge the educational system. Torn between science, arts, and commerce, we bring clarity and answers to your questions, and we light up the path for a generation ready to stand out. Come enjoy discussions with educators, employers, and counselors. Let us fix this problem of career misalignment and help you discover yourself. EduShift, only on Global TV.